In this session, we're going to dive into how to figure out what to do next. If you have various options in your life, you're not sure which one to take, which place to go, which direction to move in, you're in the right place. It's all going to work out perfectly. Welcome to Your Wish Fulfilled. This is your magical podcast to experience that you have already attained everything you want in your life right now. Just imagine for a moment that life is supporting you, life is blessing you. To start, I invite you to take a moment now to imagine, to open your mind and heart. Imagine the ideal life, the ideal experience of life that you love to have. If anything was possible, what would you experience? What would you do? Where would you be? Who would you be with? Just open up and expand. And allow yourself to imagine your future, your higher self now. Who have you become? It could be glimpses, could be images, could be nothing. There is a future, and it is trying to find you as you are trying to find it. Today, I wanted to, first of all, apologize to you for not being around. For those of you who listen to this podcast, I haven't done any in many months. I went to Hawaii, and when I'm in Hawaii, everything is very different, and I tend to spend most of my time in nature and not doing much. So my apologies. I actually recorded a session, which I'll figure out where I did it and upload that in Hawaii. But I've been busy with lots of wonderful projects, and it's fascinating how everything comes around, isn't it? We hold the intention, this is how it works, we hold the intention of something that we wish to create. We don't know quite how it's going to work out. It doesn't look like it's necessarily working out at all. A lot of the time things seem rather mysterious, rather invisible, and yet there is a hidden magic behind everything, working things through in the background. And our job is to hold that energy, surrender it completely, and be willing to receive divine guidance. And many times it's not what we expect. Strange things come our way, strange and wondrous things that we hadn't thought of. Some things, they come back to us again and again and again. That's always a good sign. If you have a vision for something and then you let it go, and then it keeps coming up, keeps coming to you. Like there's all these options, endless opportunities, and yet that vision, that idea, keeps coming back over and over again. There's probably a reason for that. Why is that one thing coming? Because think about all the opportunities we have. I've been talking to a lot of people recently about various things, and it's fascinating how many totally different lives people live. Talking to one person who spends pretty much her whole time for years and years driving around the whole of America in her car. She has plenty of money to get a place and do whatever else she wants, but she likes just driving around, just tuning into what's going on, and being of service in various ways to the various people she happens to meet on trails or here and there. Right? That's one life. Other people I know are stuck in a particular job or a situation and they're trapped in it. Other people are traveling all over the world, going on retreats or doing retreats. I mean, it's just every person is a world unto themselves, and we have to enjoy our life. We need to understand what our life is about. Why are you here personally? Why are you here? In this session, I wanted to answer a question that I got from someone I met randomly myself when I was out and about. I met one of my old students. I was meditating, and just as I was about to get up and leave, I literally just stood up and I was walking off, and some guy sitting by said, "Are you Michael McIntosh?" And I looked at him and I said, "I believe I am." And it's always a slightly odd situation for me when people who I haven't met in person, and I don't know what they look like, know me, because I've done a lot of trainings that's like audio trainings or things where I haven't spent time seeing them physically, like on Zoom or in person, so I just don't know what they look like. So I don't know who people are, because this does happen more than I expect it to. And so I said, "Yeah, I am." And then he reminded me that where I met him in one of the programs that he was in that we were doing years and years ago. So we sat down and had a chat and did a meditation with him, which I enjoyed. And then I left him in the silence because I needed to go. So this is for you. And the question that was asked in that opportunity, that moment together, was basically, this wonderful soul, this lovely brother, he is in a situation where he's figuring out his next step, like what to do next. He's moved to a new place. There's all these options of these different retreats and programs and different opportunities to be of service, to do some things in his work, in his path, and he wasn't sure which path to take and wanted some guidance on how to know what that is. So today we're going to be getting into that. It's a very interesting topic. How do we know what the best opportunity is? Like I alluded earlier, if it keeps coming up again and again, it must be a sign. Because not everything will reoccur. Most things will be fleeting thoughts. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I did this thing? And then off it goes and it never comes back. But if it keeps coming up again and again, it's a prompt. Some things we might dismiss out of hand because we think it's too hard. I don't want to do that, right? But there's good power, there's value in that. I'll give an example of this. I was talking to someone, actually a few different people over the years, who have suggested a certain project which involves helping people who want to get clients and want to make money refine their business and their marketing and their funnels and all these sorts of things, which is not really my favorite work, to be perfectly honest. But it needs to be done because there's a huge problem here, and so many people are struggling in doing their work because they haven't figured this out. So that I know loads and loads of people in my programs and other programs, and just in general, who have wonderful hearts. They really want to help people. They have good ideas. They have good energy. But the business, marketing, funnels, website, emails, systems, techie stuff gets the better of them. And so they're just trapped, or they're just stuck. And years and years and years go by and they've got no good options. Either they try and do it themselves, which doesn't work, or they have to hire people for $50,000, which they can't afford or they don't want to do. So we basically have come up with a third option to help people who are coaches and helping others, creating courses and doing all this stuff that I'm doing, the being of service to people, to set up websites, funnels and all these things. I'm working with a team who does this, but I didn't want to do it initially because I don't like techie stuff. I'm not doing the techie stuff, thank goodness. So that takes care of that. But even the idea of it initially stressed me out. But then I thought, this came up again and again and again through many different conversations with many different people again and again for many years. And I just thought, and I had it in a file in my project management system, just sitting around with all these just gathering dust, digital dust. And then I kept getting emails. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? What about this? What about this? And then I asked people, do you want this? Do you want this? And it was like, oh my God, I need this. I need this. I need this. So then we set it up. And now we are helping people, get clients and set up their websites and sort out all their mess and really figure stuff out. This is the missing piece. And it's great. I actually feel really good about it now. I'm in the middle of getting this all tidied up, and it's already going extremely well. So that's an example of something that was fiddling around, hidden away, coming back, doing a bit here and a bit there, having conversations. And then I just finally said, let me just do it. And it wasn't actually that hard. That's the funny thing. It's like, oh, that'll be too hard. That'll be too annoying. I'm not ready for this. But actually, it needs to be done. This is the missing piece. Without this, people's dreams cannot happen. If someone wants to do their own work, have their own clients, make money, be able to do their work full time, but they haven't got a practical system for it to actually happen, then they're just dreaming, and nothing's going to change. So this solves that major problem. And I'm very happy to be of service in that way, because I personally know how hard it was for me and how devastating it was, because I wanted to be of service and I wanted to get paid doing meaningful work. And it took me years and years and years and hundreds of thousands of dollars and all sorts of stress to figure this out myself. So it's a real joy to help people solve that problem for them and make it as quick, easy and painless as it possibly can be. And we also have all the technology that is the most effective way of doing it, so it's easy to use. So if you're having a problem with that, by the way, just let me know, because we are now doing that as part of what we offer. But I'm just giving this as an example of something that I put off, but it kept coming back. And I kept trying to put it off. And then I said, let's just do it. And it's done. Here it is. So that's a sign. If you are getting ideas again and again, there's a reason for it. Listen to that. The other important thing to do is, if you don't know what you want really, is just to spend a lot of time in silence, asking the question, how can I be of the greatest service? That's actually what led to this program I just mentioned. I just said, how can I be of the greatest service? What else can I do to help people? And that just kept coming up because that's such a big problem for most people who are wanting to help others. So if you ask, how can I be of the greatest service? Because at the end of the day, if we are trying to do something in our life, one way or the other, the more benefit it is for the world, for you and for others, the more power there is. So if you have one option where only you benefit, and another option where you and your family and loads of other people and the world in general benefits, then that second option is going to be better because everyone benefits. How may I be of the greatest service? And you can ask this to God, to a higher power, to the divine. How may I be of service, of the greatest service? We all have different temperaments, we all have different skills, experiences, interests. So we want to align our interests, our passions, our love with our skills in a way that is of the greatest service to all. And that actually has quite a few options. It's not quite as straightforward as it might initially seem, because in this world we live in, everything is changing and shifting so fast that you can be of service in many different contexts with the same skills. And it's also worth just looking outside of yourself to what people want and need. What do they want? What do they need? Where is their pain? Where is their struggle? Ultimately, being of service to relieve pain is in various ways why we're here. Any business, any service project is to relieve pain, if you think about it, and create joy. So I was talking to someone recently who helps the homeless, right? I'm not exactly sure what she does specifically, but she's involved in helping the homeless, right? Because they're in pain in the sense that they don't have somewhere to live. Their life is disorderly and not aligned, unless they want to be homeless, in which case that would be fine. But there are people who are in a bad place. They haven't got any money, they haven't got options, they're not in a good space, right? So they're getting help to come out of it. That's being of service. There are people who I help mostly people who are coaches or creators, and they help various people in various different ways. And so it's important to think about your story, what you've gone through. The more you personally have gone through something and come out the other end, the more you can help someone else do the same. Your experience is your greatest gift. People can say whatever they want about anything else, but nobody can challenge your experience. That's where the power is. So sit in silence, ask how you can be of service, surrender to the highest good for all, and notice what keeps arising. Listen, look around, see where people need help, and eventually it will land, because it is done. Everything is already accomplished, and you're just moving through time, watching it unfold. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful day. Lots of love.